America loves to tell a story about itself. The land of the free, the home of the brave, the shining city on a hill. But the reality? It's a crumbling empire where freedom is something you buy, bravery is outsourced to endless wars, and the city on the hill is owned by real estate developers. This is the United States, a country where public goods are sold off like clearance items, where prisons run on profit, where the military budget could fund entire continents, and where the language of freedom is twisted to mean its exact opposite. Let's talk about everything that's wrong with America. The economy isn't broken. It's working exactly as intended, funneling money upward into the hands of a tiny elite while everyone else drowns in debt. In the so-called richest nation on Earth, nearly half Americans can't cover a $400 emergency expense without going into debt. Wages have been stagnant for decades, while productivity and CEO pay skyrockets. And yet when people ask for a livable wage, they're told it'll crash the economy. In other words, it'll dent corporate profits. The American dream is marketed as meritocracy, but in practice, it's a lottery system where your chances are decided at birth by your zip code, your parents' bank account, and whether or not you can afford health care when you get sick. Everything that should be a human right in America has been privatized. Healthcare? Sold to insurance giants. Education? Packaged as lifelong debt. Housing? Snapped up by hedge funds and landlords who treat shelter like a stock market. Even water, the most basic element of life, has been commodified, leading entire cities to be poisoned or priced out. The logic is always the same. If something can be turned into a business, it will be. And when profit is the goal, people stop being citizens. They become consumers, or worse, collateral damage. America doesn't just punish crime, it manufactures it. The US incarcerates more people than any country in the world, more than China, more than Russia. Entire communities, especially poor Black and brown communities, are policed, surveilled, and funneled into a prison system that operates less like rehabilitation and more like slavery with extra steps. Private prisons make money off of keeping beds full. Prison labor pays pennies to people making products they'll never afford on the outside. And for every person locked up, there's a corporation cashing in. From construction companies to telecom providers charging families absurd fees just to speak to their loved ones. This isn't about safety. It's about profit and control. Then there's America's favorite pastime, war. The US spends more on its military than the next 10 countries combined. That's trillions of dollars to fight endless wars abroad, arm foreign dictatorships, and build enough nuclear weapons to end civilization several times over. Meanwhile, millions of Americans can't afford health care, schools crumble, homelessness rises while luxury condos sit empty. But don't worry, the Pentagon has new fighter jets that don't even work. And the war doesn't stop overseas. At home, police forces are militarized with surplus weapons of war, turning American streets into occupied zones. The message is clear. The state isn't built to protect you, it's built to control you. But maybe the most dangerous part isn't what America does, it's how it talks about it. Politicians use words like freedom, choice, security. But the meanings have been hijacked. Freedom? That's corporate freedom. The right to pollute, exploit workers, and dodge taxes. Choice? That's your choice of which corporation leads you drive for healthcare or housing. Security? That's endless surveillance, militarized policing, and a permanent war machine. Even the media plays along, serving as a soundtrack to empire. Endless culture wars distract us while billionaires strip mine what's left of the country. Manufactured consent keeps people cheering for their own decline. So what's wrong with America? Everything. The economy is rigged, the public sphere has been privatized, prisons are businesses, the military is a parasite, and the rhetoric that's supposed to inspire us is nothing but a smokescreen. But here's the thing. If all of this is designed, then it can be redesigned. If the injustice is systemic, so is the solution. This is the part America doesn't want you to realize. Systems aren't natural. They're built. And what is built can be rebuilt. The first step is seeing the machine for what it really is. The next step is deciding what to do about it. I'd like to close by saying this. I want to do more of this. I really enjoy engaging with my fellow citizens and thinking about the larger picture, not just headlines of the day, but deeper systems that shape our lives. We don't always get spaces where we can step back and ask what is actually going on here. And I think creating that space is really important. If this resonated with you, I'd recommend checking out some of the sources I've linked below. A lot of them were things I pulled for imagery, but many of them are also deeply thought-provoking news stories, essays, and investigations about the American government and the structures behind it. At the end of the day, we may not agree in every detail, but I think it matters that we're at least asking the hard questions together. Because if we don't start thinking critically about these systems, they'll just keep running as they are, and we all deserve better than that. Thank you for watching.